Have you ever just failed completely in a one-on-one with an A player where it's always just been easy going with them? Well, let me tell you a little bit of a story, and then I'll tell you what I learned from it. I had an A player on my team. She was a great salesperson, and I mean, she's super culture fit, pleasant, doing a great job for us. She started saying no to the leads that we were giving her. She stopped doing the activities that we know you have to do to sell houses. And I started, like any leader would, starting trying to equip her, to motivate her. In our one-on-ones, there was a lot of accountability talk. I was doing everything that I thought was the right thing to do to push her to actually get the job done and to make the money that she said she wanted to make. And eventually I asked her to move on because it was pretty clear that we weren't the team that it seemed like she wanted to be a part of. Fast forward a few months later, I found out that she was pregnant. I felt horrible about that. Now, she never got back into real estate. So, in a way, it was the right decision, even though it was painful for me. But as a leader, I hold myself to a higher standard. And I just failed in that moment. I failed in the communication. I failed to truly hear what it was that she was trying to tell me. Even though she didn't clearly tell me, I should have known that something personal was up. And so rather than just dwell on a negative, I'm always going to take these failures and give myself grace as a leader and try to learn from it so I can turn it into an opportunity to improve. First, I just want to give you the format that we have for our one-on-ones. And this doesn't matter if it's a salesperson or an admin type role. No matter what, our one-on-ones always look like this. First, we always check on the person. Now I'm going to come back to that. And that is the true lesson learned, is that you always start with checking on the person. Because if there's something personal going on, it doesn't matter whatever you say about business, they won't hear it because they're focused on the personal thing. So always check on the person in your one-on-one. And most of the time, it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes a couple of minutes, especially the ones that aren't super outgoing. They'll tell you in a one-word answer, fine. Second, we always talk about what it was last week that we called a priority and how you performed. Did you get the things done that we said were the big rocks for the week to focus on? And if you didn't, why or why not? Right? Do you need help from me, the leader, in training or equipping or support? Or did you get it all done and you're ready for the next thing? I don't know. We have a conversation about last week and how you performed to make sure you stayed on priority and you don't need any extra support. The third thing that we do is, what's the priority for next week? So based on the vision, and this is your opportunity to recommunicate the vision, where we're going, what are the couple of things that you're going to focus on and make sure that they're done prior to working on anything else? And then we talk like, okay, well, what do you need support in for those things? I like 2 questions at this point. Hey team, I'm so grateful that you're listening to this video and that you're working on yourself to become a better leader. Listen, if you want more models on how to become a steady leader, if you want models on how to lead yourself, how to lead your team, and how to lead your business, go pick up my book, The Steady Leader, on Amazon right now, and I will give you the models to use to bring clarity to your chaos. One, I'll say, what in your business do you need more of my time? Where do you need me to plug in and do more for you? Or where do you need my help? The second question that I leverage is, where in your business do you need me to step out? And the beautiful thing about that second question is, if there was a point where they felt like you were micromanaging, or even if you as a leader felt like, I might be micromanaging this employee a lot, it gives them the opportunity to tell you in a low risk way, like, hey, I got this, you can step out. And you, not only do you prevent yourself from micromanaging, but you get some of your time back, which is what all leaders want, is just our time back. In those 2 questions, you find out where you need to plug in and you find out where you can unplug, and you know that your team understands the vision and they know what the priorities are. And then you can high five and they head out. And it usually takes us about 30 minutes to do that. Now, I started this with, you check on the person. I've read recently that there's 3 levels for listening. Level 1, which is where most of us are, is we listen so that we can talk back, right? And we're even formulating what we're going to say back before the person's even done talking. And that's natural. Like, our brains are prediction machines. And so our brains are trying to predict what they're going to finish up with in their conversation. Part of that prediction is, well, what do you want to say back? I mean, a conversation is a two-way thing. And we can't help it. That's the way our brains think. But that's level 1, right? Is listening to know what you're going to say back. Level 2 is listening to learn something. With humility, we should approach every conversation as an opportunity to learn. Everybody's got something they can teach somebody, and everybody has something that they can learn. And so a lot of conversations that I have with folks, I'm listening intently just to see if they got a model that's better than mine that I can implement in my own life and live a bigger life. But the point is that you're listening and truly staying focused to get something out of that conversation to learn. Now, level 3 is listening to understand the person. How would you have to listen to understand the person? And I can tell you with this person, I was not a level 3 listener. I wasn't hearing the words, looking at the body posture, looking at the actions that they were taking, and kind of thinking as the full person what was happening. What I've learned is when you are checking on the person, that's the way that you need to be listening. You need to be listening, that level 3 listening, to make sure that there's no hurt in them. Because if they're hurt, especially on the personal side, your business isn't gonna matter to them, and you need to help them any way that you can personally so that they can move on from that, hopefully, and then we can talk about business, all right? And I can't tell you enough, without handling the personal hurt, you're not gonna get to do the business side. And plus, we're all people, and we care about our team, and if you truly care about someone, you need to take care of their whole life, not just their professional life. If you hear somebody and you do hear them for the hurt that they have, you got to diagnose, all right, well, then what am I going to do with this information? And there's a great model that I've learned called the 3 H's that you can just use to kind of take that next step as a listener to see what it is that that person actually wants from you. All right, so the first H is, do they want to be heard? People that just want to be heard just need somebody to vent to. Like they just got to get something off their chest. They're either angry or hurt or both, and they just need to get something off their chest. And they're not asking you to fix their problem. They're just asking you to listen to them. They just need to feel heard. And in the moment, if you make them feel heard, then we can move on to business, right? And so you've satisfied that personal need that they have by making them feel heard, and then we can move on. H number 2, do they want to feel hugged? All right. Hugged is somebody's telling you something because they need you to embrace them. They need you to make them feel better about their situation. They either want the physical touch or they want words of affirmation or they want some other type of love language from you to make them feel better about their situation. They're hurting inside and they need someone to come to their rescue and make them feel better. And in that moment, in that hugged moment, you can listen truly what their problem is and you can give them some words that actually would make them feel better that you could move on to business. Okay. But that's the second H is hugged, right? And so we can either hear somebody, we can hug them. And then number 3, the third H is help. Now, listen, help is number 3 for a reason. Most people don't want you to get into their business, but there are some situations based on your relationship with that person where they may be communicating something personal to you because they want your help. But I would treat the help H as the last step in this analysis because you don't want to plug yourself in somewhere where somebody doesn't want you, right? You don't want to be in their business as their leader professionally if they don't want you to be there. And so I would start with the herd, I would move to the hug, and then I would go to the help. And if they truly want to be helped, then just do what you do best as a leader. You get in there and you problem solve. You help them get a plan, help them cast a vision of what right looks like, and you just get after it. And if someone wants you to help, then they want you to hold them accountable too to take an action. And so in that one-on-one, when you've helped them, we're going to talk about these big rocks in business next time we come together next week. But I want to hear on the personal side that you did this action that we agreed on would help you personally too. And you hold them accountable just like any leader would with anything else that matters most. As leaders, we need to take care of the whole person. We have this incredible opportunity in our one-on-one meetings to actually hear people, to hear and understand who they are and what they're going through personally. Don't jump right into business. That's the natural tendency for most leaders is to jump right into business. You'll get to the business, but your business doesn't matter to that person across the table until you make sure you've taken care of the person. So pay attention to the level of listening that you're doing, the 3 levels, and make sure that you're using something like the 3H model to know what to do next. Because we've got to take care of our people first, and then they will take care of our business. Hey, look, if you enjoyed this conversation, Go into the show notes and sign up for our newsletter. You can also reach out to us, and we're happy to email you our one on one template at any moment.